Ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea how much I have prayed for nights like this at Madison Square Garden to finally happen. And thanks to the Garden faithful, we finally got what we've been asking for. Ladies and gentlemen, New York City, you know what? I'm not even mad anymore if you're going to keep going to the Garden and giving those chants that we've been waiting to hear. Now, shout out to Evan from Ranger Central and Matt as well, because those two guys were the originators of the fire jury chants at the Garden last year against the Flyers when they had freaking Sam Rosen brought commentating in the TNT game. That particular game was when the fire jury chants were trying to be created, and they were the original ones that did it. And everyone else weren't pretty much buying into it because, everybody was still glazing Chris Drury because they felt like he wasn't a bad GM because of the playoff appearances. But, guys, that completely changed my mood. Now, you guys, we already knew the Kraken were not like they were going to beat the Rangers. We already knew this. Like the Kraken actually rank like pretty much top two in everything, like power play points, goals, and freaking penalty kills, goaltend, all of that. And they're actually a very fast team when they do the breakaways. And as you can see, you saw it for yourself what happens when Rangers can't keep up with the speed and they get now. So other than that, and you guys already knew, like Capo Caco already had 2 assists, and Ryan Lindgren, of course, had an assist as well. So they were both on a revenge tour. Ironically, I mean, we already knew this was going to happen because every former Ranger always has a field day with the New York Rangers. That's what you see every time, so it's no surprise. Now, however, I will say at least they played with a little more effort. I'm not going to sit here and say they were horrendous the whole entire game. They just pretty much couldn't keep up with the Kraken within the third period. Plain and simple, like they couldn't keep up with the Kraken. So at this point, like I said, Chris Drury now needs to be really careful because you know what? Like I said, New York City, if you're going to spend money at the Garden and you're going to keep giving out those fire jury chants, by all fucking means, do what you must and spend your money as long as you're going to give us a fire jury chant for the whole entire arena and Dolan himself to hear. Because you know what? That is going to be the only way James Dolan gets the wake up call and realizes he has to do something. He can't be patient with Dolan and I mean with Drury anymore. Now, the other interesting thing about tonight, Mika Zibanejad, of all people, we know he's been doing excellent this season, producing a point per game player, which I know nobody expected him to do that, right? However, even he is starting to call out the fragilement that this team brings. Isn't that shocking, ladies and gentlemen? You now have Mika Zibanejad calling out the bullshit these players are starting to bring for the New York Rangers. And you would have thought, he would not say anything or stay quiet about it and try to stay pop. But no, shockingly, he even admitted that this team sucks and the players got to do better. And you know what? They can't call him out because at the end of the day, he's giving you guys points per game. So he's the last person you can even sit there and have that discussion and say he's got to step it up because you know what? What more can Mika Zibanejad fucking do? He's doing his part. What more do you need Mika Zibanejad to do to feel like he's not producing? Because he is. He's 100% producing. Now, The other one, JT Miller. I gotta tell you, if he's still hurt, just sit out. Just sit the rest of the season out. Because it's not going to get any better for him when he goes to the Olympics, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. If anything, I can tell you this right now. If he goes to the Olympics, still banged up and made of glass, do not be surprised if he comes across an injury in the Olympics and next thing you know, it's a season ending injury. It would not surprise me one bit if it becomes a season ending injury within one hit check of playing in the Olympics because you guys know how aggressive everybody's going to get coming from the NHL and representing their country in the Winter Olympics. You guys already know. You saw what they did in the Four Nations. So if they did that in the Four Nations, you don't think for 2 seconds they're not going to bring that same energy towards the Winter Olympics? You don't think for 2 seconds they are not going to get chaotic and, try to start off every game electric? They absolutely are. Because all they're going to think to themselves, they did it with the Four Nations, so if they can do this for the whole world to see, they're going to go absolutely bonkers. 1,000%. So JT Miller is going to be very careful with how he's going to play in the Olympics because they're going to be hungry. Every single hockey team that's representing their country for the Winter Olympics is going to be hungry for the gold, even the silver and the bronze medal. So JT Miller is going to have a lot on his plate to really try to keep up with all of this despite his injury. So for the Kraken, like I said, you did I not say it on Saturday? Your bar needs to be set low until Igor Shesterkin is back behind the net. Now, the other interesting thing about the the goaltending is this. Now, Jonathan Quick did really good tonight, so I'm not going to knock him for his goaltending. Nope, he actually did a good job. They actually, didn't do too bad. However, when he retires, what are you going to do for your backup goaltending tandem? Because if you're not going to give Spencer Martin or Dylan Garand the shot, you're going to keep going to the market and go get yourself a backup goalie for Igor Shesterkin? The only way that'll work is if you get like a younger backup goalie and he happens to be like in his 20s and he's putting up like Dustin Wolf numbers. That's the only way it can work for the Rangers. Now, as far as the front office, they're going to have to watch out because I'm not going to be surprised if I hear more fire Drury chants because now I want more. I want more fire Drury chants because at this point, that's what it's going to take. When the fans are fed up, that's the first step. The second step, these fans are going to stop going to the Garden. They just are. Because you know what? Who's going to want to keep going to that shit? You only got 5 wins out of the... Listen, did I not say you will be lucky if this team gives you 10 home wins out of the rest of the season? Did I not call it? I mean, guys, I don't try to go on rants or be all like, grumpy and negative about the team, but this is who they simply are. This is who they are. And the only thing I can be happy about tonight is the fact that the fans have finally acknowledged that it is time for the Fire Drury chants. Because that's when you know it's gotten bad. Your fucking corporate fans are chanting those. Not the real Ranger fans, because real Ranger faithful fans been stopped going to the Garden. The only ones that are left are like the corporate ones. And even they are now getting fed up. So if you lose the corporate fans, man, Dolan is going to have to stop being in denial with his fucking self from here on out. Because I'm going to laugh every time he tries to give us another excuse if he goes to another radio station and tries to have the audacity to say Drury is still going to help us win. Yeah. He's going to help you win, all right. He sure is, because now the fire Drury chants have emerged. And you guys know me. I've been pushing that movement with the Twitter army and everything for a year. Like, believe me, we are all in shock in the group chat that we finally heard the noise that we've been dying to hear. So, from here on out, Drew is definitely in the hot seat. 1,000%. Because you cannot tell me that the Fire Drury chance is not heading towards Dolan's ears. He'd be out of his fucking mind if the Fire Drury chance did not at least hint him something that you're going to have to do something soon as a team owner. Plain and simple. Like, there's no other way around it. At this point, if Dolan keeps doing this, he's going to be talking to a brick wall. Not the audience. You're going to be giving out a message to the brick wall because nobody's going to hear it. Nobody. After the Fire Drury chants and the Boo Birds came out and just made it known and heard, yeah, nobody's going to give a damn anymore because they're checked out. And as I said before, it was only a matter of time before even the Garden faithful stops dealing with that shit. It was only a matter of time. Now, we all know in the trade deadline, Drury is still going to believe that this team are buyers. Not sellers, buyers. Now, the toughest situation that's going to be for the trade deadline, we know he's going to try to move Artemi Panarin. But the $1 million question is this. Who's going to want Artemi Panarin to be a rental? Because that's going to be the biggest problem for Chris fucking Drury. If you're going to try to move Panarin, now you got to find a team that's willing to take him as a rental. Because anybody who acquires Artemi Panarin, they don't know if he's going to want an extension or stick around with the team where he lands. So Drury's going to be in a pickle of himself with that alone because not only I know he's trying to move Artemi Panarin. It's already been out there and stuff like that. We get it. And for all we know, he's definitely, increasing his trade value with the amount of points he's been putting up with tonight as well. That's all he's doing. He's creating a trade value to go skyrocket. Now, the interesting thing is with Mika, I'm very surprised he has not even I'm going to tell you right now, if Mika Zibanejad even considers waiving his no movement clauses, whoo boy, could we get a haul for Mika Zibanejad with how he's been playing this season. If only, because for all we know, if Mika is calling out the team being fragile, he might get fed up. Not this season, but probably 2 or 3 seasons after. It's only a matter of time. For all we know, he could possibly sign it off and want to go elsewhere. Because now you got Mika Zibanejad telling the press that this team's got to we suck. That's all. He said it in the nicest way that we suck. Plain and simple. There's no other way around it. Now, for the trade deadline, from what I'm seeing in the sources, they're trying to get Kiefer Sherwood for Braden Schneider. Hey, you know what? If you're going to get Kiefer Sherwood for Braden Schneider, I will personally be his Uber driver and drive him to Vancouver myself. If you are going to really move on from Braden Schneider for Kiefer Sherwood, I will personally drive Braden Schneider to Vancouver if that move is going to happen. Because at this point, if these rumors are true, I better see it happen ASAP. Because I don't know what more it's gonna take for the front office to realize that you're not going to the playoffs. You're just not. This is their fourth loss in the row, by the way. Fourth. So they're 3 losses away from doing exactly what I said can happen. 7 wins, 7 L's in a row. 7 of them. Now, we could go higher. The way it's going, the way the pattern and direction has been going for this team. Now, here's the crazier part. Alexis Lafreniere has been moved down to the third line. At some point, it's going to be sad when you see him go down to the fourth line because it's like, man, Lafreniere, if you see Lafreniere more in the third or fourth line, he still can't produce. Listen, guys, you guys see it. I have his jersey on. I'm telling you guys this. I'm telling you this with his jersey on. At this point in time, if Alexis Lafreniere cannot produce being a third or fourth liner as a former number one pick, you just got to say it to yourself, the game has left him. Plain and simple as that. If he cannot produce being a third or fourth line player, the game has officially left him. 2024 was the only thing you got out of him, and that's going to be it. There's no other way around it. So, Lafreniere, man, the fact that he got demoted to those lines, it says a lot. Because now even Sullivan is starting to realize that maybe constantly putting Lafreniere on the top line hasn't been a bright idea. So we'll see if Sullivan's going to even. You guys know how he is. It's like a rotation salad with Mike Sullivan with how he's been doing the lineups all season long. So if this continues, it won't surprise me one bit if he sends Alexis Lafreniere to the fourth line, because from there it's like, what more can he do? At that point, what are you going to do? Send him down to Hartford? You're going to send him down to Hartford to develop? Because it's already too little too late for that. Too little too late to send Alexis Lafreniere to Hartford. It's not like you're way past that. You could have sent him down like maybe his first, second, or third season in, and you would have gotten away with it. But you can't. It's going to be too late. Because you know what's going to happen? All you're going to do is deflate him much more than ever. You're going to deflate Alexis Lafreniere, and you're going to watch him regress even more, trying to send him down to Hartford. You're going to it's going to feel like the biggest slap in the face for Alexis Lafreniere, because he's going to be like, damn, you guys drafted me number 1 overall, brought me down 2 lines. Don't even want me on the top 6 line anymore, and you send me down to Hartford. Do you guys really even believe in me? Because that's what's gonna happen. So from here, man, if he can't produce in either line, you might have to consider thinking about making a move from Lafreniere. You might have to put that in consideration, because like I said, what more is Drury going to do? What more? You're going to retool? Good luck with that. Because now you got to try to avoid the fire Drury noise going on at the Garden. Because it's going to continue. It's going to continue. No matter how much Drury wants to, figure it out. Now you got that on your shoulder. So, good luck. And you got to play at home again on Wednesday against the Senators. And you guys know the debacle going on with Ottawa. So, I'm sure, once again, we got to feel the wrath of the Ottawa Senators because they lost to the Panthers on Sunday. So now we're going to be the punching bag for the Senators because of the off-ice drama going on with Linus Ullmark and the guy randomly saying some crazy shit about adultery going on in Twitter, which is allegedly, I'm not saying it's true for YouTube's sake. I'm not saying it's true, but now they got to feel the wrath of Ottawa with all that going on. So yeah, it's very like I said, it's gonna happen again. We're gonna most likely get Fire Jury Part 2, but it might just be louder and might last all 3 periods at this point. So, guys, I just don't know what more you want from me or to say because we already knew this was going to happen. I mean, the one thing I can say that was good about this game was Brendan Hoffman. He almost had a couple of opportunities to finally get himself his first NHL goal. We all know he's been dying to get it. It's taken him 32 games, going on now 33 once Wednesday hits. So hopefully he gets his goal because at least he's playing with some grit and hunger, which I like to see that. Noah Laba was back in the lineup, so that's also a good thing as well because you saw instantaneously how impactful Noah Laba was on the offense. Now the Rangers did have it. They had their moments in this game. They had plenty of chances to, keep they even gave the Kraken a very hard time keeping the puck in their blue zone the first period. The whole first period, the Kraken didn't have too much puck possession. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like the Rangers didn't try, because again, they did. They looked better in the first period and in the second period. Now, within the late second period, that's when things started to do a little turnaround for them, and the Kraken started to have a little more life because they started getting their back-to-back goals and they tied it up. And from there, you just knew something's gonna happen. You just knew. So, so as always, guys, thank y'all for watching. I am gonna wrap things up. Let's just hope the fire jury chants continue because that might be what will finally get this man out of the front office. So, New York City, it's all on you now. It's in your hands. You got to continue the chants because it's only going to. Dolan can only hear it so much to the point where he has to do it. You guys saw what the Buffalo Sabres did once they started their Fire Adams chants. Look at that. Poof, he's gone. And the Sabres are just all of a sudden doing better. So let's hope that that can happen for the Rangers as well. Because there's a possibility that if Drury actually gets fired, all of a sudden the court wants to turn it around and things turn around for the better. So thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a wonderful night. Hit that like and subscribe as always. Leave a comment. And let's go, Rangers. I will see you guys on Wednesday. And fire jury. Fire jury. The movement must continue. The fire jury movement must continue now that it started. And as always, Garden Faithful, please go on Wednesday with that same energy. We need every bit of that. The more fire jury chants, the sooner it can happen.